Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host Robert with a very important message. Squidward does not play the effing flute, Lil Yachty. What the hell? And with me, I have...
Wait, he ain't here again? Damn, he ain't here again.
Again, yeah. So, obviously, it's just me and Mark here, again. Alex, yeah, he got his work schedule. He's got to be working afternoons for like 8 days straight.
Damn.
Well, I suppose that's the, hotel business for you.
Yep. Oh boy.
Well, he better be getting some good fucking paid for this. And we're gonna, take him away from us when we need him for more important things like internet podcasting.
Man, I better pay him well.
Yeah, episode 36, and, what the fuck, Lil Yachty? Like...
Okay, I guess he doesn't know his cartoons or some shit.
Like, okay, first off, the original lyrics, something about blowing me like a cello, that... Again, you don't blow cellos, those are string instruments. So, first off, you use the wrong sexual slang. You should really say something about fingering like a cello. And second, okay, Yachty, I think he's about our age, probably a little younger.
Yeah, he's younger.
Yeah, so I know for a fact he probably had to watch SpongeBob at one point. So he should know that what he plays is the friggin' clarinet. And even if he didn't know, like, off the top of his head, you got Wikipedia, man!
Well, he said so his lyrics don't make sense, which he said that should, he said himself make sense is boring, and he thought, fuck, I'm gonna say what I want.
Well, he's certainly living up to that reputation. I hope he's proud of himself.
He probably is. He's happy.
Clearly. I mean, he's making more money than either of us will ever see, so why the hell should he give a shit? But anyway, how have things been going for the past week on your end, Mark?
Well, let's see. Well, it rained here a lot. It's been mainly whatever here, and that's sort of it.
Well, damn.
Also, it rained a lot. If I haven't said it already.
Yeah, you did. I even, heard a tiny bit of it when I was editing last week.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it only came up, twice, but I did see, it come up in the sound, just the
the big, yeah. Some nice ambience.
Yeah, ambience. You could record it and maybe just record the sounds and you could produce the next, I don't know, Oneohtrix Point Never record or something.
We'll get to him later on, but anyway.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, anyway. As for me, not much. Work, school. Actually, finally got back out to the movies this weekend. Twice, in fact.
Oh, that's right. So what did you see?
Saturday I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was a lot of fun and had so many emotions and feelings. I liked it better than the original, to be honest. That was a good old time.
Alright.
On Sunday, I went for some reason, to go see Alien Covenant.
Okay.
Which was... that movie and Prometheus, which I actually watched Prometheus the night before just to give myself a refresher. Those movies are whatever. And I couldn't really piece down the big thing why they don't work for me as well as I think they ought to. And I finally got what it is. Okay, so the entire point of these prequels is to explain the origins of the alien, the xenomorphs and all that shit. And when you finally get to the point in the movie where it, spells it out crystal clear for you, you suddenly sit there and think, and this is probably going to be spoilers for people who haven't seen either Prometheus or Alien Covenant. So Ridley Scott decided that we needed 2 whole movies to tell us that the predominant reason that the xenomorphs exist is just because of an android with a god complex. And I'm just that's not a particularly compelling explanation. And, like, I never cared about where the aliens came from. I just care that the aliens are terrifying and murder shit. That's all we want. We don't need all this backstory shit.
It wants this. I don't know what the fuck it wants.
I want the monsters and the killings and shit. And, you know, now that I think about it, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but between Prometheus and Alien Covenant, what is it with Weyland-Yutani, you know, scientists and their weird allergic reaction to wearing helmets? Like, I feel like half the casualties in this movie could have been avoided if they ever just got smart enough to realize, hey, we should wear a fucking helmet on these alien planets. And keep them on instead of stupidly taking them off at any point whatsoever. Jeez, just...
Some of the people, helmets save lives.
Like, okay, so the studios decided, and I think it's 20th Century Fox, if I recall
yes,
correctly.
Fox.
Fox decided we needed 2 Alien prequels, but they decided that apparently what we didn't need was Alien 5 from Neil Blomkamp, you know, which would have given us what we actually want, which is just the aliens being scary and killing people. That's what we want. And also maybe Sigourney Weaver again. But, whatever. Hollywood's a weird place. They just do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess that's really it for the formality. So, at this point, we're going to jump right into the new song discussions for this past week. Not a lot, but there was still some stuff we found to work with. And if you're interested in following along, we will, as always, have a playlist down in the description that you can click, listen to, and then, you know, listen along to our opinions and whatnot. So we'll get the metal ones out of the way first, and of course Alex will be chiming in at a later time. Starting from the top, Municipal Waste. They've released the title track from their upcoming latest studio album, Slime and Punishment, due out June 23rd. And of course it's one of those weird, like, 360-degree visualizer things that don't really work unless you're, like, viewing it on your phone. It clearly doesn't work on a computer. Yeah. Now, for the song itself, it's, you know, it's a pretty fun jam, you know, as always pretty catchy and heavy. Although, compared to the previous single that they released, this one has, I noticed, more of a vibe similar to Anthrax. You know, predominantly in the production, the gang shouting vocals, like the tone of the bass, and just the whole beat of the song. It's very, you know, like if Anthrax was more punk. It's a fun listen, and, you know, obviously anything that reminds me of Anthrax is doing something right. So, it's a good song overall. And now we cut over to Alex for his thoughts.
Our good friends Municipal Waste. They're tackling the wonderful world of Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment, mixed with the Mark Summers realm of Double Dare. This should be a pleasant and wholesome ride for the whole family. Not. This is a pretty good thrash kicker. That's the thing I just made up. Thrash kicker. Go ahead and use it, kids. But the production feels rather too stripped down, especially on the drums. There's like no EQ to be found anywhere. Everything just sounds flat. Like there's no real post-processing going on with the drums. I like that they're real drums, but you know, you gotta give it that little boom in the post-production. You gotta add some EQ to it. Come on now, it's simple.
Thank you for your contributions, man. Now moving on to the other metal song for this week, Goatwhore. They've released the second single from their upcoming Vengeful Ascension album. Again, same day as Municipal Waste album. This one's called Chaos Arcane. And while the previous single had more of a, I guess, slower kind of doomy vibe to it, this one is more straight thrash and groove. Like, it starts off, you know, with this pretty heavy, fast, aggressive thrash segment. The guitars, you know, have this pretty muddy tone, but it kind of works with, like, the doomier aspects of it. And the vocals have, of course, their typical very harsh, grating quality. But then once it gets about halfway through, the song switches it up into this much groovier digression, especially with how the drums hold down the groove really well with this cool patterns and stuff. And the vocals, they get a much more guttural tinge to them, as the production gives them this more wispy, almost kind of hurricane-like quality, like you're just being like, just savagely assaulted by them. And then, goes back into the thrashier bit near the end. Once again, another pretty killer song, and I actually like this one way better than the title track, so I'm kind of curious to see where things go from here. I'm still very much stoked for the album. So, once again, let's throw it back over to Alex for his thoughts.
Last time I talked about Goatwhore, I wasn't really all that impressed with them, and this time, I'm still not totally sold on them, although I do like the constant thrash groove that this song carries throughout. Other than that, there isn't much for me to comment on. It's just repeating, sections and riffs. It's a good song, but not my real cup of tea. Still not sold on Goatwhore yet.
Thanks for that, Alex. So, now that covers all the metals, so now we can get Mark back into this.
So hey, we got another Shabazz Palace song. Like, man, that's the third one they didn't come out in the past month. And this time they got another person on there. Good old Thundercat.
Thundercat! Yes, teaming back up with Shabazz Palaces for the first time since, that Woke song from like 2 years ago.
Oh shit, that's right. That's right.
So, yeah, this is apparently the opening track from the upcoming Quasars, specifically Born on a Gangster Star, which, again, coming out July 14th alongside Quasars versus the Machines, I think?
I'm blanking on the name. I know it's no something with that, but yeah.
So, the song is called Since C.A.Y.A. Honestly, I just pronounced it since C.A.Y.A. Whatever that's actually supposed to mean.
That's what I call it too.
So I'm going to let Mark take over for a bit before I jump in.
Okay, we'll say like the past Shabazz Palace songs, like they do got this very offbeat, like off kilter and strange sound and very funky in the production, especially with of course some bass from Thundercat himself. And I will say that like usual, they do lay down some very some very bars that that you gotta listen to while I'm trying to decipher, which I kind of had a little bit of trouble deciphering most of them. Like the first few listens, I still did the vibe of this, and I think like of all the songs that they have been releasing, for their double albums or coming soon, like this one be in the middle of me. I'm out like this. This might be my second favorite one because I think like I know like Third Clip Stitching, that's my top favorite. We'll see with this one. I really do like the production of this. I do like the very off kilter verses I get from Shabazz Palaces. I'm digging the production right here, and it's a pretty solid track. A bit confusing at first, but hey, maybe you want to listen to it more.
Yeah, obviously Shabazz Palaces, their lyrics tend to be very cryptic as hell, but even this, like, by Shabazz Palaces standards, I still couldn't piece together much of, what it was. Like, I mean, I'm guessing it was supposed to be something really, like, dark. Like, I guess this is the opening. I'm guessing this probably takes place in, like, I guess the space before Quasars makes it to Earth, I'm guessing. I mean, you kind of get that from the beat. It's this very dark, kind of sinister thing. Obviously with Thundercat's ever so, heavy bass line, complementing the whole thing. And there's a lot of, like, you almost kind of hear in the background, it sounds like glitchy, almost kind of like frayed electronics and whatnot. And I really can't tune into what the lyrics are about. I'm guessing it must be just, Quasars from space observing customs of, like, I guess Earth hip-hop culture? Or maybe having some kind of secret behind-the-scenes vibe to it. Like, especially that last line about freeing the slaves. Unless he's talking about, like, slaves in some kind of modern-day sense. I don't know.
Yeah. We're not exactly geniuses.
Yeah, and let me put it like this. When even the Genius page has a bunch of question marks on it.
Damn. Hey, here's my evilgenius.com got stumped by these lyrics.
Yeah, there's like so many question marks. If you go, you'll see question marks like in the lyrics where like they clearly can't decipher what's going on. And I guess no one's even bothered to try interpreting yet, because obviously you need to sit down for like a day and dedicate it to like just concisely breaking down everything. Like this is some kind of, I don't know, master's thesis that you're trying to earn at like a top, university or something.
That'd be an interesting yet hard assignment to do if I got that, if I would have done that. I'd be like, okay, there's some sweet ass music, but it's like, you got the type of shit like, oh damn, like I think it means, oh no, shit, damn, fuck, like that.
That is something I would fail in an instant. But thankfully, we don't have to decipher this yet. We just have to listen and enjoy. We'll probably get around to trying to decipher it once July 14th rolls around, and we can, or at least I can dedicate an entire month of my time to, breaking it apart. But anyway, moving on. Washed Out. It's been about 4 years since the last album from this electronic artist, so it stands to reason that we're probably due for one sometime soon. They've actually started going on tour recently, and they even released a new song for which the tour was apparently named after, a song called Get Lost. Now, I'll admit I'm only familiar with like 2 Washed Out songs. There was one from, I believe it was the 2011 Adult Swim Singles program, or maybe it was the one before, and then, I forget the name of the song, but I know it was the theme song to that show Portlandia.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed them from. They're like, oh yeah, that's the guy that did that song, that did the songs of that show that some people watch.
Yeah, funny thing, I'm sorry if this is a bit of a tangent, but my first time hearing that song wasn't in association with Portlandia, but it was, whenever, my radio station, they go into the, like, commercials and bumpers and whatnot, every now and then they often play one that's just, like, that song. And then when I was just randomly Googling and, like, looking up Portlandia and stuff on, like, Wikipedia and stuff, when I saw the name of the theme song, I was like, I wonder what that is. And then I clicked it, I was like, oh, it's that song!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I just heard it, like, I don't know. I think I heard it. I think some friend of mine posted something about Portlandia. I think the things on there, like, I listened to the songs, like, oh, this is some trippy shit. I might like. And I can say the same with Get Lost, which is like, it does have that old, like wonky electronic sound with the song style that has that dance vibe that I get from it, which will be, especially during the production and maybe the middle half of the song, like, oh, this is this shit is kind of, I'm grooving this shit, to be honest.
Yeah, like, the drums, the actual drum beat is very disco-like. It's that classic disco rhythm, but with, like, some extra stuff thrown in. Also, if I may, bust out the rhythm nerd in me, it's got, like, that sort of, I want to say it's a piano, but, like, that triplet rhythm, like, how am I gonna, okay, so, I'm bad at this, like, if I had a metronome here, I could do it, but, yeah, there's this really weird, like, triplet, I want to say it's, like, whole note triplet piano thing that's, like, running through the rest, like,
oh yeah, oh okay, oh yeah, I do see you talking about right there. Yeah, I did sense that.
It's much clearer if you hear the song. Trust me, I'm not great at this improving. And yeah, the weird, like, dreamy vibe of, like, the synths and whatnot. But there's also a lot of, like, clattered noise, like sort of, like, clattering percussion, and, like, you hear the sounds of, like, people chatting it up at, like, very loud volume. It's like this was almost recorded in, like, a busy LA or New York streetway, like on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I did get that vibe from listening to it, like, the first few times. I'm going to. I found the song on Spotify. I read it said that its copyright is at their site with Stone's Throw now. Like, okay, like I mean, I know it's something that's not that important, but it's like, oh damn, they doing this for Stone's Throw. That Stone's Throw.
Yeah, I think. Now that I think about it, where I saw it was not on Spotify, but I listened to it on YouTube, and yeah, I think the video I saw was under Stone's Throw's channel.
Okay. I guess they're branching out in some, going to much outside of hip hop, concerning the fact, because I did read that Washout was formerly of Sub Pop, which yeah, you're going to match past it's their song with them too, like. There's some fucking switching, like.
They get around.
Yeah, they get around. Yeah, but okay. But anyway, the song is good. Yeah, I like it, and that's all I gotta say.
Yep. So now let's move on to
some pop.
Yep. But first, let's start off by discussing, once again, going back to the tangent of movies. In particular, a movie that none of you are probably gonna watch. I mean, unless you're me and you have a thing for just, like, seeing obscure animated films and whatnot. Just a quick question, Mark. Did you see Your Name in theaters?
I did not. It's not playing there. It's still not playing there, I mean.
Still? Damn. Holy shit.
Well, I feel it ain't shit.
I feel so sorry for you. Anyway, where am I going with this? So, when I went to go see Your Name in theaters, obviously there was, like, trailers and whatnot. A bunch of it for some animated shit that no one's probably gonna watch. Like, apparently they're making a fucking My Little Pony movie, even though, haven't we already had, like, 2 for this series already? And, like, wait, people still watch this series? How is this franchise still going on? Like, in animated form.
I guess the fan base still on that. I mean, it may be a bit, less,
annoying.
Less more to hear, but there's still a fan base for that show.
Okay, then. I've heard stranger things. And one of the other trailers that they played before was for some French-Canadian animated film, which I think its original title is Ballerina, but as far as its release in the States, they're changing it to Leap.
Okay.
And, of course, the big draw of this particular movie is that one of the principal characters is voiced by none other than pop starlet Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay, she an actor now? Or has she been that?
Well, voice acting.
Oh, okay, voice acting.
Yeah, and so for the soundtrack of that movie, she has released one of the songs that on the soundtrack that is of her own writing. It's a track called Cut to the Feeling, and quick little fun fact, apparently there's a possibility that she's releasing a new album this year, because if you do a Shazam, check on this song, apparently the listing it gives you is not the Leap soundtrack, but apparently for some other album title copyrighted 2017. So, will this appear there? Who knows? I mean, I know this song was originally intended as like an B-side to Emotion. Although, I gotta be honest, like, this song, I like it as a pop thing. Like, it's got a fun, pounding drum beat to it, the fun clapping, the really gorgeous vocal arrangements, and, Carly Rae Jepsen, her performance is, like, fantastic here, but it's kind of a little, like, the melodies and stuff are not as interesting as something like, say, Run Away With Me was. It's not on that level. It's an alright song, though, I will admit.
Alright, yeah, I ain't got no thoughts on this, just so you know.
Hey, how dare you have no opinions on Carly Rae Jepsen? She is a national treasure and must be treated as such, Mark. Don't make me banish you to the Gem homeworld.
For real.
Yeah, you'll be stuck there with Lars.
I just want to do his head and get home faster.
You're not even a gem, so that's not gonna work.
You don't know my powers that I mean from here.
That is true. I mean, you You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not getting into it. We're just moving on. So yeah, Cut to the Feeling. Again, fun little song. You know, and I'm probably gonna end up seeing Leap, just like if there's nothing better to do that weekend, which, you know, given me, there probably won't be. And last but not least, speaking of movies, so we're just about a month into, you know, the big summer blockbuster season. As I said, we've already had stuff like Guardians,
which is great,
Alien Covenant, and I'm sure... Oh, and let's not forget the cinematic classic, The Boss Baby. What was that 2 months ago? I forget.
Wait, that was in March. Well, late March, but yeah.
Well, let's be honest, blockbuster season pretty much begins like earlier and earlier every year at this point. But yeah, this Friday, of course, we're getting more big releases. The big one being, of course, the latest thing from the DC cinematic universe, Wonder Woman, which I really don't want this movie to suck. Please, I beg you.
No, this one is good. You gotta have one W in your roster of films. You got none as of now. Like, zero.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Suicide Squad, but I have seen Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice, and come on, DC, please. I want this one to be good. I don't want to hate these movies. But, anyway, we gotta talk about one of the songs from the Wonder Woman soundtrack. This one being from indie icon turned pop singer-songwriter, Sia. AKA, do we even know she's a real person?
I don't know. I don't know if she might be loose to our own imagination, or I don't know, that bottle.
What, you mean this bottle?
Could be, or the one behind you.
What are you talking about? I'm holding a bottle in front of me.
Well then,
I was thirsty. Don't judge me.
But
anyway, so as I said, we have a song from Sia and some singer called Labrinth, spelled without a Y because reasons. The song is called To Be Human, and, you know, if you've heard, like, any recent Sia song, this one fits, you know, pretty well in the ballpark. It's this big, really dramatic electronic pop ballad. There's a lot of weird, you know, crackling and, like, electronic digressions in the background. Of course, a weird exotic xylophone thing, you know, still writing the tropical vibes of, I guess, the stuff like she intended for artists like Rihanna when she was songwriting for them and whatnot.
Mm.
You know, the big dramatic piano break near the end. And of course, Sia's performance, it's not one of her most memorable ones, but it still has, like, you know, some good parts in there. Just, you know, sheer, you know, power and charisma when she sings. It's okay, I guess. It's not my favorite Sia song or anything, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, this song is merely alright. It's alright. Like Sia singing is fine, but the is okay. I do feel like it's one of those songs that's just gonna play at the end credits of Wonder Woman, because that's the vibe I get when hearing this. It's like it's like when Star Trek Beyond got released last year, and that Rihanna song, the lyrics, I don't know, it's some song where she said, I hit a wall. It got played during the end credits. That's how I feel like this song is gonna be. It's something it's just there, to say, oh, hey, don't you can leave now as that song plays.
But not before the obligatory post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Which we know you're totally gonna stick around for. Yeah, so the soundtrack to that, as we said, drops this Friday, so I guess if you're interested, there you go, and again, please don't suck.
Be good for once, be good for once.
Yeah, so that basically does it for the song discussion this week, so we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we have some news, so take care.
We'll be right back, kids.
And we're back.
Yep.
Unfortunately, our first story, we have to acknowledge yet another death within the music world.
Oh.
Yes. In this case, one of the biggest icons in classic Southern rock, Gregg Allman, a music artist perhaps best known, if you haven't guessed from the last name, as a founding member of the popular Allman Brothers Band, a group which I always had a bit of a soft spot for. The local classic rock radio station, whenever I listened to it, they'd always play, like, Allman Brothers a lot. So I remember, like, back in my middle school days, which was when I first became familiar with the name via, Guitar Hero and whatnot. Yeah, I heard that stuff, like, their stuff a lot. And I don't care a lot for, like, very southern-tinged music, but they were always, a pretty good band. He passed away peacefully in his home at the age of 69. According to various reports, the cause of death was complications from liver cancer, which he had been dealing with for about 5 years at this point. Yeah. Have I mentioned fuck cancer?
Fucking cancer.
Yeah. So, there's not really much else to say other than his loss is a rather big one for the classic rock world. Our thoughts and prayers, our condolences go out to your surviving loved ones as well as fellow musical associates. Rest in peace, sir. So now, let's move on to the other news. So, the Cannes Film Festival actually took place rather recently, I believe the past week or so. And of course, naturally, there's all kinds of buzz about promising, independent or foreign films that will presumably be making their way to some pockets of America soon enough. Lord knows when or where.
Hopefully.
So one of the interesting ones is a drama called In the Fade, which premiered at Cannes. It's from a German filmmaker named Fatih, or Faith, I think. No, Fatih Akin.
No, Fatih Akin. Yeah, I got confused at that first thought. Oh, that's for that.
Now, the movie, as described by Variety, is, quote, a contemporary drama about a woman who takes revenge after her husband and son are murdered by the neo-Nazi group National Socialist Underground. Well, I mean, why don't you just engage with them in the marketplace of ideas? Nazis can totally be reasoned with. Sarcasm. So, why are we bringing this up here? Well, interestingly, the score for this movie is being composed by, of all people, Queens of the Stone Age frontman Josh Homme. Joining the likes of fellow rock musicians like Trent Reznor, Johnny Greenwood, as, in the independent film composing game. This is apparently, like, his first time doing this, and from what I hear from the trailer, it seems like it's probably going to be, like, some, I guess, acoustic guitar type thing, maybe, just really dramatic, I guess, acoustic ballads and whatnot. Heck, the fight thing, apparently the director really is, like, a big fan of Queens of the Stone Age. Heck, the movie itself is named after a song from Queens' second album, Rated R.
Oh, shit, alright.
And, of course, I'm always down for movies about taking revenge against Nazis. Arrivederci.
Killing Nazis.
I miss Lieutenant Aldo Rain. So, yeah, this ought to be an interesting thing to watch once it actually makes its way out to the wider populace.
Or distributed. Well, I don't know who distributed the movies, but hopefully it gets a wide release.
Probably limited. Remember, the movie's entirely in German, at least from the trailer, so...
That's right.
So it's probably going to be, like, limited release in, like, I guess, art house theaters or whatnot, or, like, independent theaters.
Oh, yeah. In other words, theaters I don't got.
Yeah, poor Mark. Anyway, still in the realm of the Cannes Festival... They actually handed out an award during the festivities. I assume one of several. The soundtrack award at the film festival, going to who, Mark?
That is Mr. Daniel Labrinth, a.k.a. Oneohtrix Point Never. You see, he has won the soundtrack award at the festival for his score for the movie Good Time, a crime thriller directed by Josh Homme.
Safdie. I've never heard those names before, but apparently it stars Robert Pattinson. The vampire guy from Twilight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Even though I think he want to get away from that shit, I don't blame him. To be honest, but
Clearly,
yeah, but okay, okay, he joins former members such as Clint Martinez, scored Drive, damn good movie, and Spring Breakers. Yeah, he did that along with Skrillex.
Ew.
Yeah, he joins them. Howard Shore, Jim, the guy that read the Ghost All the Way to Samurai band, Squirrel. Yeah, in those winners. And it turns out the score features a song with Iggy Pop called "The Pier and the Dam." And I watched the trailer of that. It looked kind of interesting. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing this.
It actually comes out relatively soon, August 11th.
And I noticed the film is being distributed by A24, considering the fact Oneohtrix actually did a score to a movie like that a few years back.
The Bling Ring,
It was
right?
The Bling Ring. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh shit, he did that score, which I didn't know at first when I saw the movie. Like, oh well, damn, I didn't know that. And the trailer looked kind of cool. Score stuff. I was digging the score.
Yeah.
It means
from how the trailer starts, like in the first half, the songs that you hear are definitely that typical Oneohtrix Point Never sound. Like, I want to say in line with like Zones Without People or like R+7. And then, at the other half, you hear like a snippet of that Iggy Pop collaboration, which is, somber piano ballad and just his really commanding vocal presence.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, big ups to Oneohtrix Point Never for war. And let's hope his work in the movie is damn good along the movie itself when it comes out.
Hopefully, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Moving on to outside of the Cannes Film Festival. Legendary Los Angeles radio DJ Rodney Bingenheimer is planning to retire from the radio business after well over 40 years of hosting his show Rodney on the Rock on LA's KROQ radio station. His final show is of course going to be on June 5th. Which is Monday, from midnight to 3 a.m. Now, if the name sounds unfamiliar, he's actually a hugely significant figure in sort of the radio and music industry, because when he started out, his thing has always been that he's been a champion of edgy, up-and-coming new music artists. So when he got started, he was an early champion of the punk rock and new wave scene. So guys like the Ramones, Sex Pistols, heck, Blondie or Nena, he would play their stuff, and he helped them get big and get discovered, and that's just kind of been his MO. All kinds of new wave bands, and even up through the grunge era, bands like Nirvana and Hole. His show helped bolster them into super mainstream fixtures of the rock world. And just to give an example of how influential a show could be. This classic Nena track, 99 Luftballons, only became a part of why it became a big hit was because of people, constantly, because of its exposure on, his radio show. So yeah, this is kind of, obviously he's been doing this for 40 years. The dude's
that's a damn legacy. That's a fucking legacy right there.
Yeah, this guy's I imagine pushing his 60s. I think he's 69 years old, so. I mean, he probably could be doing this for at least another 5 years or so, but I can see why he, would want to hang up early. He, with all due respect, he had you can't have a radio DJ run that could be any better than what he's done for the underground music world and all. Hopefully there will be others, perhaps in the KROQ, oeuvre that can pick up the torch for him, but we congratulate you on your efforts, sir, and we salute. You can go ahead and relax now, so.
Happy retirement.
Yeah, you've earned it, sir. And now, last but not least, and this is a story that I really wish Alex was here for. Again, he's going to chime in later. One of our most anticipated albums of 2017 is, of course, the upcoming Galaktikon II from, Metalocalypse creator Brendon Small, since clearly we're not getting Army of the Doomstar anytime soon. Yeah. But we've had a pretty substantial reveal in the past week. Not only do we have a full title for the album, Galaktikon II, Become the Storm, we also have an album release date, August 25th, and we've gotten a 50-second preview video, which it's one of those, 360-degree ones, so I can only really efficiently watch it on my phone. And as for this preview, it's about what you expect. There's a lot of really, explosive outer space graphics with, weird trippy effects and stuff. And, there's the music as well, which it sounds, like Galaktikon, which is basically just like a more melodic, somewhat lighter version of Deathclock. Interestingly, Small, when talking about, like, the album to, I believe it was Nerdist, he's quoted as saying, "To be honest, I listened to very little metal while making this. It's nice to not be influenced by current trends and instead go back 20 or more years. I was listening to Paul Simon's first solo album. I was very excited to hear his composed style of writing on the song Everything Put Together Falls Apart. There are moments where I'm influenced by Billy Joel and Duran Duran. And of course I'm influenced by stuff like Soundgarden, Queen, Weezer, Metallica, and ELO. So that's certainly an interesting set of influences to have for this new record. I'm curious as to where it'll go. I mean, the actual preview clip certainly sounded like metal enough, although not as, aggressive maybe as Deathclock. But, it's great to see what he's been doing and, to hear the fruition of his efforts. I'm obviously very much looking forward to it. But what are Alex's thoughts on this? Take it away, pal.
Finally, is it August yet? Oh, Galaktikon II is finally almost here. I'm so ready. Oh, and welcome to Megaforce Records, Brendon Small. Very nice, very nice. Now, I can't really judge how this will turn out with just that little small teaser snippet that was put out. But I consider me interested in hearing just how this mix of the original Galaktikon 70s rock-infused metal will blend in with the characteristics of the band legally formerly known as Deathclock. But either way, consider me hyped as balls from the get-go.
Thanks, man. That basically takes care of all the news discussion. Yeah, kind of a late week this week. So, one last bit of business to take care of, and that is the new album releases for the week of June 2nd, 2017. Starting from the top, we have the latest album from prog metalers Adrenaline Mob, titled We the People. The latest album from modern prog, staples Seekth, titled The Future in Whose Eyes. The latest collaborative effort from industrial metal project Jesu and Sun Kill Moon, titled 30 Seconds to the Decline of Planet Earth. Newest album from alternative pop rockers All Time Low, titled Last Young Renegade. From Irish punk rockers Flogging Molly, we have their new album Life is Good, which it certainly is not. How dare you?
It's awful. Life is shit.
Exactly. From the group Alt J, we have their third studio release titled Relaxer. And last, and certainly least, the newest album from Halsey, titled Hopeless Fountain Kingdom.
And that's pop singer Halsey, not alternative.
I didn't say alternative.
I know. I just want to clarify that to the audience.
Although, to be fair, singer is kind of, generous.
Yeah.
Don't you have mattresses to steal or something? From your roommate in Boulder? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to work that reference in.
You just had to.
Hey, I like it when people suffer. It's funny to me. And so that'll basically about do it for all the important shit. So now it's time to clean house and get the hell out of here. So, Mark, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at MatthewHappyMedia as usual. And on my site, The Mind of Habit1 at thehabit1.wordpress.com. That's about it. I ain't got nothing else to say.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobBarracuda. You can also email me, robert@surrealresolution.com. If you have any questions, comments, or inquiries regarding the podcast and whatnot. Subscribe to Decibel Boost on iTunes and Google Play. Audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video episodes go up every Friday on my YouTube channel. Just search, Rob Barracuda, or, search Decibel Boost. I'm sure you'll find it there too. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell tab so you can always be notified whenever new episodes of the podcast go up. And of course, this is the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution, which you can find and follow on Twitter at Surreal Rezo. Go to www.surrealresolution.com or go to the podcast subdomain decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. While you're there, listen to the archives of our past episodes. Also, check out our other podcasting projects. If you like gaming, check out The Training Stage. If you like movies, check out Salty Flicks. And, of course, check out our great written content. Currently, we have animated weekly write-ups of My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan Season 2. I'm probably not going to have an album review this week because, look, the only notable thing that came out was fucking Lil Yachty, and even I don't want to talk about that. I'll review Linkin Park, but I draw the line at... Again, he doesn't play the fucking flute! What the fuck? Sorry. Anyway, getting back on track. Be sure to jump into our Discord chat if you ever want to dank it up with everyone. Which I believe the new dank terminology is cracking open a cold one with the boys. Or something.
Okay.
And of course, shout out to the producer, Mr. E, for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. That'll about do it for this week's episode of Decibel Boost. So, until next time, some funny reference.
Some Steven Universe reference. Hold on.